la dabo la long tonga. Oyo la long la long mona mona mwe wa mamorwa. Oyo lo ko bota moto bono tenga mtsambe. Oyo la da bona kwa bono bela zabatumbo. Oyo na forma kuma chwela chukwi chwe gama kong che karela chama komba da makare chama tu timtime de wala o wasobo o bamba alibemo
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of The Anchorman. I am Chris Ano. It's a pleasure to be back with you today. I want to believe that you all are doing great, especially if you are joining from ground zero where the reaction is taking place. I love to say good evening to all of you tuning in from ground zero to ground one, to the USA, continental USA, to Europe, Asia, South America, wherever you are. You find yourself, you are an Ambazonian and Ambazonian sympathizer. It's a pleasure to welcome you. God bless you all. This is going to be a very, very exciting presentation here. And I would love to thank those who have already joined by way of Facebook and by way of YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in as usual. Please, I ask you to go ahead and quickly hit your share button. Let us quickly populate the social media platform. Go ahead, hit your share button. Hit your share button in the next 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make it up to 700. Let's make it up to 700, close to 400 right now, but let us make it 700. This is going to be very, very exciting. And I come to you today, I would say very, very enraged. Again, very, very enraged with what I see going on in ground zero. Talking about Bali, Mautu, and all these places, Indu, Nwa. All what we see ought not to happen, or ought not to be happening. But we're going to make some sense out of it. And I hope that you, again, go ahead, hit your share button, and let us quickly populate this platform. Let me welcome some of you, as many as I can, briefly before I take you into the show. Today, let me see those of you who are tuned in, joining by way of Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Before I take you into the broadcast proper, today I can see the numbers jumping on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that share button. I got news for you. All right. Oh, I see His Royal Highness in bombs. Wow, thank you, sir. I see also, let me see here, Martin Neighbor, you are a great Ambazonian. Secretary Chris, thank you, Mr. Neighbor. Ambazonian Stefan, where have you been? I haven't seen you here for a while. Thank you for joining, sir. Mike in Congo Kendo, good day, our eloquent and shrewd secretary. Shrewd secretary? Well, I hope that's a compliment. All right, Felicia in 4, watching from Canada. Beautiful. Sammy Brown, welcome, Secretary Chris. Blaze Tanyi, hey, Chris, I see you, sir. I see also Barnabas Ednoy. Okay, say share, and yes, please go ahead and share. I see Herman Moon. You are blessed, Secretary Chris. I know. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Ayuk in Photo. We can only do better. Yes, sir. You are right. Please hit your share button as you join. Hit your share button. You want to quicken my comment to you with this presentation proper. Hit your share button as you join. Wise Land. Yeah, Wise Land. Secretary Chris. La Republique is defeated. That's why they are killing our people in the church in Bali and Balangi. You are absolutely correct. So they are cowards of an army. All right. I also see here Vivienne. No. Hannah Vine watching from Dublin. Thank you, ma'am. Vivienne Abidu. We own the land. Tell that to La Republique, ma'am. Thank you. Ewat Billy Blank. Able Secretary Chris, the Iron of Ambazonia. Thank you, ma'am. I see also E. Banks Iroko. The Lionheart, Secretary Chris. Thank you. I don't know whether you are a man or a woman, but thank you. Jonas Morbid, a hopper poor, we shall die fighting. Yes, sir. Jonas said, God bless you, Chris. Thank you, sir. Asongani, Patrick, all the way from London, I believe. Hello, Secretary Chris. We love you. God shall see you through. Thank you, sir. God will see all of us through. Please hit your share button. Hit your share button as you join the Facebook platform. Franco Bulu Kaba, no pity, should go. Abdul Karim, I don't know what you mean. No pity should go. Abdul Karim. All right, I don't know what you mean there. Grace Dara, Secretary Chris, our Iron Man. Thank you, ma'am. Kweshi Indi, God bless you. Our able secretary, Abraham Abong Oseda, watching from a corner. God bless our people. Wonderful. Rita Monyongo, hello, our humble secretary. May God continue to bless you. Thank you, ma'am. Tewa Free Seas, Chris. We are blessed by having you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Daniel Injengi Ngong Pang, watching from Australia, Wisdom Gym. We thank FM No Pity for the good job done in Oku. Wonderful, wonderful. Please, again, ladies and gentlemen, we have about less than 140 to go to 700. Hit that share button as you join. Before I come to you, I have a packed house here. Ladies and gentlemen, so much to bring to you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think my earset is shut down somehow. I can't hear myself.
Mr. Simon, please advocate to fight on Dama Hotel.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that share button. Thank you for staying put in there. Now, this is what we're going to discuss today. We are going to be talking about what is going on in Ndu. There is some breaking news, a catch coming from Ndu that I will be bringing to you. Also, we have all seen what Fimesh No Pity and his boys carried out in the Oku yesterday, getting La Republique du Cameroon army running helter-skelter in that community. We will also, of course, be talking about the draft that comes up at the weekend, and we also have the refugee situation in Nigeria, and I guess I should start with that. I should start with the outreach to the refugees in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that all of you, most of you, if not all of you, have seen the images coming out of Nigeria, the refugee camps in Nigeria.
It was an
we see the celebration the celebration by those refugees, the refugees celebrating in Nigeria of what most of all right, ladies and gentlemen, these are our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, our fathers celebrating with the donations from the Department of Health and Social Services here at the interim government. Now, these donations came about thanks to the generosity of some of you. Again, these donations came about thanks to the generosity of some of you. I was up here last week pleading for your donations to help with these refugees. And some of you called in, donated, did your best. Some chipped in $10, some $20, some $50, some $100. I like you to know we deeply appreciate what you did. Because of your generosity, these our brothers and sisters and mothers were able to put food on the table. And they're here celebrating because you stretch your hands out and supported them, helped them. I want to say that we're going to be doing this little fundraiser once in a while. We shall be coming to you once in a while to plead for your support, to go out, to reach out to these refugees. When we do come, please know that it is not about us, it is about these refugees. Again, when we do come, know that it is not about us, it is about these refugees. And so for those of you who extended a hand of support when I made the appeal last week for donations to support the refugees, I want to say thank you. Thank you on behalf of the Department of Health and Social Services for reaching out generously to support these our suffering and struggling people out there in Nigeria. Thank you so very much. Now let me take you, ladies and gentlemen, to Indu. Let me take you to Indu, where something has been happening in Indu, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you the images coming out from Indu. This image, this footage that you find here, ladies and gentlemen, is coming from Indu. This happened yesterday. Our boys, the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, they reached out in Indu and had a big catch. Now you may say, oh, there are only 2 AKs. 2 AKs are not cheap, ladies and gentlemen. 2 AKs are not cheap. This is what happened in Indu yesterday. And as of this morning, the boys are still in battle out there in Indu. Let me turn on the volume here so you can hear exactly what these guys in Indu they are saying in this piece of footage.
Yeah. Asalo man. Na komanda big watch so na live video so yes na collect them na harvest we don't harvest from tumbo yes na tumbo so we don't harvest them from tumbo na ho ha so no the fear no man na AK-47 there's na super adis we don't take them for day big gun we no the fear them yes we will continue to take them ho ha yes big vote your life big vote your life yeah asalo man na Commander Big Watch so na live video so yes na collect them na harvesting we don't have man na AK
all right, ladies and gentlemen, again that was in Ndu yesterday, a harvest by the Amazonia restoration fighters in Ndu. Ndu is in the Donga Mantung, yes, Donga Mantung County. For quite a while, nothing has happened in that part of the country. You realize at this moment that everywhere in Amazonia except Fako, I really want to see more and more things happening, ladies and gentlemen, in Fako. Fako still has, in fact, it is the only county still having a toll gate in that matter. And La Republique du Cameroon is draining revenue funds from our people through that toll gate. That toll gate should come down. You cannot be talking about economic sabotage and that toll gate is still standing there in Fako. That toll gate should be brought down hastily. Fako need to step up. So many things inside Fako that should be happening, but not much is happening there. Ghost towns are not happening there, except for Moyoka, Ekona, and the Lurida community. But right now we see football matches are being organized there, not even by the local population, by La Republique du Cameroon agents. This has to stop. Fako has to rise up. All right. But thank God for Ndu in Donga Mantung is rising up. Let me bring you the information that I received from Donga Mantung today, ladies and gentlemen. I got this information sent to me from Donga Mantung, and this is what it is saying. Breaking news from Ndu local government, Donga Mantung County. A joint mission of the restoration forces from Donga Mantung County and the Bui warriors carried out in Tumbo village brought down 2 La Republique du Cameroon soldiers and 1 black leg walking with them. 2 of their AK caliber guns were taken. That's what you find on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. It says 2 of their AK caliber guns were taken away, leaving the 3 corpses on the spot. It should be noted that these La Republique du Cameroon soldiers were on a specific mission to kill some targeted civilians in a particular location, and their communication was intercepted by our intelligence. Then, by our intelligence, that's what it says. Now, in another developing story in Nwa local government, particularly in Mbem village, the restoration forces of Donga Mantung stopped a football competition which was organized by the CPDM Kaba and La Republique du Cameroon government on Monday, that was yesterday, to undermine the ghost town. All shops and other business activities have been grinded in Mbem village as warning shots were fired in the air with a good sensitization message that we can't play football in the middle of war, knowing fully well that La Republique du Cameroon will use the occasion to kill our civilians. For security reasons, we might not broadcast. Okay, that is that. But this morning, this is what is happening there. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, this morning up in the Donga Mantung, precisely again in the, I think in Nwa, happening there this morning. After reinforcing Monday ghost towns, in Akwaja village in Ako local government area of Donga Mantung County last Monday, that was yesterday, August the 23rd, by burning down caterpillars which came all the way from Nkambe town to do work on Monday, and also burning down some motorbikes which failed to respect ghost towns. La Republique du Cameroon terrorist soldiers engaged the Amazonia restoration forces in a furious combat. Again, that was in Akwaja village in Ako local government area in Donga Mantung. The whole day of yesterday, Monday, was serious, they say, serious battle. The restoration forces took it to them. Today, Tuesday, in fact, I learned the battle still goes on now, even as I speak. Today, they took it to a little village called Nzibi village. An unbelievable gunshot have been heard throughout the day from Nzibi village in Ako local government area in Donga Mantung. The request is for you out there to pray for the restoration forces and the reinforcement, and pray against the reinforcement that is coming from the terrorist La Republique du Cameroon forces. Again, what you are watching on your screen is the harvest from Donga, the harvest from Donga Mantung. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we say kudos to the restoration fighters in Donga Mantung, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking forward to greater days as we move ahead. Now let me take you to Oku, ladies and gentlemen. I will start with these footages. The footages coming from Oku. Look at that. Again, this is coming from Oku. The images you find on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, they are images coming all the way from Oku. Oku is in Bui County, and this is the work of Field Marshal No Pity with his Ingo Ketunja Marines. This is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the images you find on your screen, they are coming from Oku. Oku is in Bui County, and this is the enforcement of ghost towns, Monday ghost towns in Oku in Bui County. Now, for quite a while, the people of Oku have refused to respect ghost towns. And so yesterday, FM No Pity led his boys into the city, led the restoration forces into the city to put order into that city. Now, he did not go after innocent civilians. I have seen some people write on the social media. No, he didn't go after innocent civilians. He went after the people that matter, the colonial administrators in that city, and we have seen the footages. I don't have them, all of them here, but you have seen the footages. The target of Field Marshal's attack yesterday in Oku. So the idea that, they went after innocent people, that is absolutely not true. Of course, when you go out in the community like this to do the kind of work they did yesterday, there are bound to be victims. Some innocent people. But we hope that this sends out news, a very, very strong message to the people that live in Oku, that if they think that they can hide under the cover of La Republique to Cameroon soldiers for protection, it isn't going to work. They have seen that yesterday when the restoration forces appeared. The Cameroon army disappeared. They vanished. They couldn't protect not even the mayor. They couldn't protect the population. They couldn't protect anybody. They were looking for means to get out of Oku. Now, I hope the people of Oku know that going forward, La Republique du Cameroon can no longer protect them, because this will happen again and again and again and again for as long as ghost towns are not being respected in the town of Oku. We understand that Oku is one of those little enclave where you find CPDM elite, like the former Prime Minister, what is this? No, yeah, I don't think Young Aluk is from there anyway. But yeah, Aluk, Young is from there, I believe so. If you think that the CPDM with their military, colonial military in the town of Oku can protect you, no, it is not going to happen. You all bore witness yesterday how they disappeared. They vanished into thin air the moment they learned that the restoration forces of Ambazonia were out there. And to prove their courage and their resilience, those restoration forces move up to the mayor's house. He was nowhere to be found. His security all ran away and left the house unguarded. And we know the result of it. All cool, we are warning you. Please respect ghost towns. And every town and village in Ambazonia will urge you, respect ghost towns. Do not fall under the pretense of the false security that the Republique du Cameroon is trying to preach all over the place to give the impression that the war is over. The war is over. And we also understand they are running helter-skelter all over the place trying to get schools to start. Again, when you look at images like this one, please do not want to be in the habit of putting your children in harm's way. Do not want to be in the habit of putting your children in harm's way. It is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Again, it is not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We will get out town by town, city by city, village by village, and we will get out every Cameroon army hiding anywhere in Ambazonia, as these forces are doing up there in Oku, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, General No PT. Thank you, FM No PT, for the great work that you are doing out there. Monday, ghost towns resume in Oku on Monday. I hope they are listening to me. Again, Monday, ghost towns return to Oku on Monday. Thanks to General No PT and Ngo Ketunjia Marines. Thanks to General No PT and the Ngo Ketunjia Marines. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I will now take you to Bali. Bali, which is the main subject of my broadcast today. It is unfortunate what happened in Bali on Sunday. I'd like you to take a little pause, watch some of the images, ladies and gentlemen. Watch these images coming out of Bali. These are sights so unappetizing to watch. Take a look.
Vite un moment. Biton jawalo. Jawalo le. This one is dead. Doctor, this one is dead.
Sorry for those gory images, ladies and gentlemen. I should have warned you before bringing those images to your attention. But that is what happened in Bali on Sunday. On that note, I will now bring to you my monologue on this subject of the Bali shootings. And after the monologue, I will bring in my panel for the day, and they are going to throw some light on the role of the church in this struggle. Fellow Ambazonians, on August 23rd, an unforgettable incident, another French-Cameroon genocide scene played out in Bali local government area. Take note that the unforgettable nature of the incident doesn't stem from any significant number of casualties and victims recorded. Not at all. Actually, only one dead has been reported from the incident so far, with a few others injured from the stampede. But please, do not misconstrue this to mean that the life of this innocent woman, Grace Tatabilad, cut down inside the church at her prime, praying to God, doesn't matter. Of course, it does. It matters. If that of Mami Api matters, if that of Baby Mata matters, if that of Sam Sawyer matters, that of Grace Tabilat matters just as well. What makes these genocidal killings exceptional is where it happened and how it happened. That soldiers will walk close to a church on a Sunday morning with close to 500 worshippers gathered to pray to God and open fire on them is the first of its kind ever since this war was forced on us. In contemporary wars, only Rwanda remains one of such impunity, intemperance, and a downright irreverence of the church, the people of God, and God. It is as painful as death itself to attempt a description of the scene inside that church in Bali last Sunday. Growing up, we were told that in times of war, the church is the last resort for shelter, the last cover to run into. If people didn't have to resort to it for shelter, they went there to seek God's face for peace and justice. They went there to pray for God's intervention too. But little did the worshippers in that Presbyterian church in Bali know, leaving their homes that fateful Sunday morning, that it was in the church they were going to encounter death. The lone victim, Grace Titabilad, who died, had left home with her 3 children that morning. The husband, we are told, had escaped Bali to avoid the war. He had taken up residence in La Republique du Cameroon. At church that morning, Grace bid all her 3 children farewell before they walk into children's Sunday school. She had no idea that was going to be the very last day and the very last time she sees her 3 children. It was the last day she will take them to church also. It was the last day she will send them to Sunday school. They will return from Sunday school and not have to see their mother. And they will never see her again. If this scenario isn't as hurting as death itself, I don't know what else it is. Those 3 children shall never again set eyes on their mother. She was killed in the church. They were made orphans in the church too. The place you will imagine anyone should feel safest in. Those 3 children may live to never go back to that church again. Not because the pastor was one of the victims, but because the memory of that day, the memory of their mother lying in blood on that floor, the floor of that church, it will live to haunt those children. The imagery of their mother lying in the pool of her own blood, the imagery of the helplessness, the lifeless body, and the stretching of the body from the church to the mortuary, it will haunt them to death. I don't know about the members of that church. They will equally be haunted forever with what happened inside that church last Sunday. Walking into it and sitting there knowing that you face uncertain death can be very, very traumatizing. It will take special strength with grace from God for the memories to fit in their minds. On behalf of the interim government of Ambazonia, I extend to all of you, the families concerned, our deepest condolences and prayers of comfort. May the Lord continue to protect every survivor with their families and make his face to continue to shine upon you all. As you go out, we pray that he will go with you. And as you come home, may he also come with you. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we are not ignorant of the burdens that times like these can inflict upon innocent people. It happens because it is war. It is war. But there are certain burdens that are absolutely avoidable or preventable. The attack in the church in Bali was one of them. It was absolutely preventable. It was a church for God's sake, not a game park. The shooting wasn't carried out by some insane individuals. The shooting wasn't a mistake either. It was deliberately orchestrated to inflict pain on an already pain-harassed people out there in Bali. The shooting was carried out by so-called trained security forces of the invading La Republique du Cameroon's army. And they alone know who their target was in the church. And you ask, how do we know that? Eyewitnesses from the church have said they are the only ones they saw. The Cameroon army is the only one they saw with bullets that pierced through the church fence and the church walls. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also no coincidence that they walked into the church only a few minutes after the crying and wailing is heard coming from the church. When they arrived at the church that morning, as you will hear from one of the eyewitnesses, the first thing the survivors in the church are asked to do is to not tell anyone that they, the soldiers of Cameroon, carried out these shootings. Now, the Cameroon military hierarchy has been quick to vindicate the soldiers who carried out the shootings. They have essentially called off any request for investigations. They have said in a statement on Monday that it was mere coincidence that their soldiers found themselves within that vicinity at that very time. They have gone as far as giving a detailed description of how the incident played out. They have said that separatist fighters had planted an IED, improvised explosive device, that exploded in the church and killed the woman and injured the pastor of the church. It is a truism, ladies and gentlemen, that when you are lying, you can never tell a straight story or a convincing story. If separatists planted an IED, how come it was a bullet that killed the woman? How come it was a bullet instead of particles from the improvised device that got the pastor on his hand? How does one explain that an IED will explode within people numbering close to 500, and only 2 people are impacted? As in Garibu case, in Dongamantung, where La Republique du Cameroon's military lied before coming back to confess the truth, ladies and gentlemen, they will do same in this Bali case. They can deny this church attack with all ferocity, but we know the truth. The pastor knows the truth, and the congregation too knows the truth. And above all, God knows the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, mark this day, I can promise you that La Republique du Cameroon will pay for this, and they will pay with both men and material. Why the blood of that innocent woman and the prayers of her 3 children, little children, will haunt them. The barrel of the guns of our restoration forces won't rest either, not until every Cameroon soldier sent to Bali or anywhere else in Ambazonia is cut down. We have a very courageous and defiant force in Bali under the command of General Grandpa. Ambazonia stands with them. Again, Ambazonia stands with them. The interim government stands with them. And they have both the moral and financial support of the interim government of Ambazonia. We urge every Ambazonian to support General Grandpa and the Bali Buffaloes. Our financial support will go a long way to enforce the total shutdown, and I mean total shutdown, of any vehicle movement in Bali. A situation that makes tracking of La Republique du Cameroon soldiers in that community easier. Ambazonia must not leave Bali to Balians. We must all rally behind those brave fighters now, until La Republique du Cameroon soldiers begin to lay down their guns and run out of the local government area. That is our duty, the duty of every Ambazonian. Yesterday, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Amazonia, the Right Reverend Samuel Funky, issued a statement about this church shooting in Bali. The moderator doesn't say exactly, he's not bold enough to say exactly how the shooting happened and who did it. He only lay blames. And as usual, the blame is on both sides. Both sides. In fact, in my opinion, he attributes more blame to the separatist fighters than to La Republique du Cameroon invading soldiers whom he knows very well from testimonies in that church that French Cameroon soldiers carried out the shootings in his church in Bali. Let me quote Reverend Funky Samuel a little bit here. He writes, again and I quote, "What is even more frustrating is a hardening of hearts." The hardening of heart, he says, despite repeated appeals of a ceasefire to both the government of Cameroon and the Amazonian separatist militia. Now listen, who have taken up arms on our people. The Amazonian separatist militias have taken up arms, he says. He continues, both are unyielding to numerous calls for peace. The innocent civilians, he says, are targeted by both parties. Isn't it very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, that as usual, the man of God has no capability to be candid and the fortitude to speak truth to power? How can the Reverend Funky even suggest that both sides should be blamed? He blamed the Amazonian separatists for picking up arms to defend themselves, and the same Amazonia he dares to mention. Ladies and gentlemen, according to him, we, not La Republique du Cameroon, should have ceased fire. I guess the real word he wants to use here is surrender. Surrender. The separatist militia should have surrendered, he says. This isn't the first time that the head of the Presbyterian Church is making such incendiary statements. Instead of telling La Republique du Cameroon government to cease fire, he says the separatists should cease fire. Instead of telling La Republique du Cameroon to seek a peaceful negotiated settlement to the conflict, he says both sides have shown cause for peace. Mr. Moderator, sir, we are not in this war for some peace to come, sir. We are at war for the very reason your Christians are gunned down inside your church. They were gunned down not because they were separatists or combatants. They were gunned down because they are Amazonians. That's a simple truth. They were gunned down because they are Amazonians. How many Francophones have they gunned down in Amazonia since this war started? How many have died? They were gunned down because they prefer freedom to slavery. They were gunned down because they support a free country of their own. Mr. Moderator, sir, your positions on the suffering of the people you pastor, sir, are not consistent with what you have in your Bible. Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, for example, he led rallies, marched the streets of South Africa, demanding justice for the black South Africans. He was courageous enough to speak truth to power. How about you, sir? You think he read a different Bible? Martin Luther King, another preacher, rallied millions into the streets of America to seek justice and freedom for blacks in America. He spoke truth to power. Thank God for him. The black race excels in the USA today because of Martin Luther King, another preacher. And he was a pastor, of course. Those of you pastors who are carrying the Bible and talking about peace that keeps us forever yoked with the slave masters are worse than la Republique du Cameroon. La Republique du Cameroon at least tell us to our faces, how that they hate us and would want to marginalize us forever. But you in the cassock, you dine with them and return to us to preach empty peace. Even when they walk into your churches, kill your worshippers and kill your pastors. The Reverend Samuel Funky, sir, you are not on the side of your oppressed congregants. You are on the side of your oppressor. And I really hope that your church members, Presbyterian church members, will begin to rise up and tell you to your face, sir, that you are wrong. What is it going to take people with authority like you to tell Yaoundé exactly what the people in your congregation are telling you about this war? What is it going to take? What is it going to take you to tell Yaoundé that the separatists didn't declare war and so cannot cease fire? What is it going to take you, sir, to tell Yaoundé bluntly that they should come down their high halls and meet the separatists, as you all like to call them, at the negotiation table? What is it going to take you? You want peace? Please tell them, tell Yaoundé that the separatists want peace too, but peace from the negotiation table, not from your pulpit. We keep on observing you very, very closely. And let me tell you, sir, that your stances throughout this war do not place you on the side of the people. The people you want, the people you want everyone to believe you care about. Your stances tell us you dine and drink with the bloodsuckers in Yaoundé. You are on their side. You are on the side of the oppressor. And you know what? You certainly will receive your recompense. Money doesn't last, sir. Influence doesn't last too. And power fades away as you fade in your age. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our leaders, of our friends. And I leave you with those words from Martin Luther King Jr. And that was my talking point today, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I will bring in an eyewitness to the incident in Bali. I hope I get him on the line right now. The eyewitness in Bali. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the eyewitness from Bali. Let's see, I can get him to join me right now. He's supposed to be waiting for this call. Let's see, he joins. All right. Again, what you watch on your screen, that is what happened in Bali, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching what transpired in Bali on your screen.
Why, Grace? Why? This one is dead. Doctor, this one is dead. But it is well. It is well, but it is well. It is well. It is well, but it is well. It is well. It is the will of God that it catches your hand. It is well. It is well. Oh, ministry that working with for church. Johnny throw a bullet for church. Johnny throw a bullet. It just enter that window, so I want to see bad die for Dan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't able to get this eyewitness in Bali join me on the phone. I am hoping we will get back to him in the course of this broadcast. But for the moment, I will bring in my panel of the day. I have with me on the set, ladies and gentlemen, the Reverend Pastor Ivo Commando. Reverend Commando, it's a pleasure to have you with me, sir. Good evening or good afternoon from wherever you are joining.
Here on this platform to share my views concerning this situation in Bali. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I am also joined by Professor Martin Ayim, who is the Chief of Staff here at the interim government. Prof. Ayim, good to see you, sir. Finally, you got connected.
Yes, finally. Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. I'm glad to be here today to actually reveal the secret plan between La Republique du Cameroon and the PCC. There is more. This didn't just happen. There's a reason for this. I'll tell the people.
All right, thank you. Let me start with you, Prof. Ayim. I'm sure that you have read the report, the statement from the Presbyterian Church signed by the moderator, Reverend Funky Samuel, and I guess you also have read the statement coming from La Republique du Cameroon, essentially vindicating their men from the shootings in Bali. What do you make of the two statements, if you have read them, please?
I have read them. Let me start off by extending deep condolences to the Grace's family of Bali. Our sympathies to you all, condolences to you all, on behalf of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. I have a word for the for the moderator, and this word is on Proverbs 28, verse 10. Mr. Moderator, it reads, "Whoever causes the upright to go astray in an evil way, he himself will fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit good." Mr. Moderator, this is a cowardly statement, a cowardly communique from you. And as I'm telling the Amazonia people, it's an execution of a perfect plan, secret plan of, between you, the leadership of PCC, and La Republique du Cameroon. This is it, that, Mr. Moderator, Archbishop Desmond Tutu will be laughing at your statement. Will be laughing at your cowardly statement. Your understanding with La Republique is this, that La Republique wants to drag the church into condemning the struggle, and you agreed, and this part is the way to bring in the church is to cause this atrocity, and then they will disown it, blame it on restorationists. Mr. Moderator, we are Southern Cameroonians and Bazonians. Okay? And then you will come up now to do what you have done, send this bogus communique to condemn, to be in between, and to condemn the separatists or the restorationists. This is a perfect plan by the Republique. It's not a coincidence. And Mr. Moderator, your church has been attacked. Your schools will be attacked. With your perfect plan for La Republique to execute and blame the restoration forces. Next is your schools. You called for schools to resume, right? They have started killing you from the churches. So I read the communique both ways, and you're calling for the government of Cameroon to do an investigation. How do you call for an oppressor, a perpetrator of crimes, the terrorist, to investigate its own crimes? Did they do that with Ngabo? Are you living in this world? I'm asking you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ayem. Reverend Ivo, please, I'd like you to give us your take on this. You are a reverend, and each time that these people they go out and they make comments about this thing, they want us to believe. They are talking from the position of scripture. What do you say, sir?
I will first of all send my condolences to the bereaved family, and my sympathy to those who are wounded, that they have quick recovery. As an authority in the Bible, which I think that the Reverend Moderator is also reading, I have something a little bit different. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14, the Bible tells me that, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So if I tell you there are Satanists that are standing on the pulpit preaching, you wouldn't believe me, but that is not commandoism. That is the Bible. And I've read it to you from 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14, which the Reverend Funky also has. Now, let me come back to why I'm saying. Because Jesus said, by their fruits, you shall know them. By their actions, you shall know them. Not by their theology, not by what they preach or what they say, but by the action they show is a clear proof that they are for God or they are for the devil. Now, I want us to lay down and limit it to the individuals. The letter you just talked about is purportedly written by the Synod Committee Executive. Synod Committee Executive, meaning that there are supposed to be people who are reading the Bible. Unfortunately, I know that many people have become committee members in churches today because they have money, because they give gifts to the pastor, and so they are made to get into those positions that has nothing to do with spirituality. My heartfelt sorrow goes to these people who clock into these places and realize that these people who say they are pastors are not, but they are they are wolves in sheep clothing, and deceiving them and cannot stand up to their defense. You rightly said it in your monologue that the people that Moderator calls separatists, the Amazonian restoration forces, did not pick up arms. This has been sung, it has been repeated, it has been said by different organs, and it seems that Mr. Moderator and his team do not even understand what is being said. Let me give you a secret. It's because these very people, we call them church people, are members of secret societies. If I will tell you that, if I'm not mistaken, go and find out from the background, Mr. Moderator may be a Freemason together with Paul Bia and the rest of the so-called government people who are members of the Christian church. They are Freemasons. They are secret society members. And guess what? The Bible tells me that you cannot serve two masters at a time, because the time will come for you to prove who is your real master. And I think that this situation in Bali has proven for us to know who is the true master that Mr. Moderator and his senior committee are serving. Because if they cannot get the testimony from the eyewitnesses, the ear witnesses, and the people who were right there in the church, and he comes up to mobile in his talk, it is very clear that he is not serving the God I am serving. He is serving another God. And so I would like us to shift it a little bit, and let's get back to the Bible and see who is who. He is an angel of darkness that has turned out to be an angel of light standing on the pulpit for the people of God.
Reverend Commando, it's interesting you mentioned that. I believe as a pastor, if something happened, an incident happened in your church, the first thing you do is walk to that church, call the congregants, call the pastors, all the elders, the leaders, to get the account of exactly what happened. Now, reading the statement put out there by the Reverend Funky, at least signed by him, you would think that he would give us the narrative of what exactly happened, going by the testimonies that the church members would have given him. We do not see that. Tell me how what you think about that, please.
Yeah, Secretary Chris and all listening to me, it is very, very clear from the scriptures. I don't know if Mr. Moderator is reading the same scripture. It is written, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth shall be established. I do not know how many witnesses Mr. Moderator has contacted who are eyewitnesses in an incident that has happened. This is not a conspiracy theory that we just talking that happened in the darkness. In the broad daylight, I happen to have listened to the guy you were trying to get, who was testifying that the military actually drove up there, and reading in between the lines from their report, they said an IED exploded near the church. and they rush in there to catch up with the separatists, and they disappear. Of course, I know that Mr. La Republique is a country of lies, ruled by the devil, who is the father of lies. And so if this happens to get into the church, we are in trouble. I'm just saying that the few members of the church whom I would like to quote here to be more righteous than the moderator and his senior clerk, because of this particular situation, were there to tell us what happened. So if I were in the position of Mr. Moderator, I would come out right now with the senior clerk and declare where my position is. We are living in the modern society where people who are serving the devil actually come out and tell the world that they are serving the devil. And this is very, very clear and very, very clear and glittering in the sight of what Mr. Moderator and his senior clerk they are saying. So for them to have failed to get into the Bible interpretation that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses the truth shall be established, I suspect very seriously that what COS Ayim has said is really cooking. Mr. Moderator has discovered that if La Republique comes into the church, they will help now to make the quest for Ambazonia's restoration to be stopped. But Mr. Moderator, I want to tell you that there are pastors and there are men of God, that are men from God, that are praying, and God will definitely answer their cry. This is not the first war in the world, and our war is very, very clear. If the world was not intact and in darkness and in a pool of lies, this would not have gone to kill one single soul before we come out of this mess of La Republique. But Mr. Moderator, let me tell you, the church is determined, and we are getting out of the grip of La Republique mentally and physically. Thank you.
All right, Reverend Commando, I will ask both of you to hold on a little bit. I am joined here by the spokesperson for the Bali Buffaloes. Bali Buffaloes. Hello, sir. Hello.
Secretary Chris, with all Albanians.
Thank you. It's good to hear from you, sir. Tell us what is going down out there in Bali today.
Okay. It's been close to 2 weeks since the military decided to invade Bali. Their first expedition was, I think it's 9 days ago. They smuggled themselves into a small village in Bali called Bosa. Out of the expedition, out of the invasion, the terrorists succeeded to loot. They succeeded to kill mentally disabled persons. They were 2 and 1 civilian. They succeeded to kill a CWF member in Wosung, but they did not touch any freedom fighter, no any able thinking.
And where did that happen?
That was the first expedition, their first invasion in Bali after the ban on vehicles.
Okay.
Yes. And yesterday, Sunday, after yesterday Sunday,
yes,
they came again. Our special guards told us they were coming. We kept eye contacts on them, but we cared about the civilians who were enjoying their Sunday. We did not attack them. The military went into the church, Presbyterian Church Tafang, the first one of the edifice of the grass field.
Okay.
Killed Madam Grace and shot the pastor in the arm. But what the message I'm sending to Cameroon military is that even the mentally deranged persons they killed, the CWF members they killed, Madam Grace that they killed of recent, and the pastor that they shot the arm, we are going to fight back. Each of them will pay tenfold. They will pay tenfold.
Tell me a little bit of what you know of the event of yesterday. How far is this church from? Because I understand that the invading Republique soldiers they describe a certain 3 corners where they were. Hello?
I want to tell you, are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you. Yes, go on.
Hello?
Go on. Hello. 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 Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're having issues with connections here. With this is
the epicenter of everything in Bali. So,
can you go back to that again? I don't. Can you go back to what you just said? We didn't get you.
They walk directly into.
Hello. Hello. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a very bad connection. Hello. Yes, go on. You said they walk into the church. Go on.
They walked into the church and started shooting. It was no stray bullet, because the gate to the fence, the fence of the church is more than 1 meter 60, and nobody can stand there and kill from the church through the window.
Hold on there. The fence of the church, is it concrete fence?
It's concrete fence, no bullet, even a rocket launcher can never penetrate. The church itself was built by the Germans. No rocket launcher can ever penetrate. It was targeted killing.
And they shot.
And if you stand behind the
Yes, go on.
they stood on the gate of the fence and shot directly into the church, targeting the pastor and those who were in the front line of the church. The pastor was shot in the arm, and Madame Grace was killed directly in God's tabernacle. That was targeted killing. Then my analysis, Secretary Chris.
You are the spokesperson for the Buffaloes. What do you make of the allegations by la Republique du Cameroon that you guys planted some IED within that premises?
It's no news. It's no news. La Republique du Cameroon have been making fake news. If we wanted to attack them, we would have attacked them right at the gate of Bali. We were ready waiting for them, but we cared about the civilians and the Sunday. Yes. But it remains on the pastor and the church leader to come out and speak the truth. Because first of all, they have been avoiding to speak the truth. When 5 CYF members were killed, the Presbyterian Church stood quiet. When church elders were killed, the Presbyterian Church stood quiet. Now they have attacked the church directly, and the Presbyterian Church want to remain quiet. I want to tell them that I am a member of the Presbyterian Church, and my grandfather was the first evangelist of the Presbyterian Church in the grass hill. That is not the gospel, to hide the truth. I want to make some analysis starting from South Africa, when Archbishop Desmond Tutu stood for the truth, fighting against apartheid in South Africa. He was a fighter, and he was a man of God. He never deprived the people from knowing the truth, and he never stopped from fighting from the truth. Even in America, Secretary Chris, when you are there, Martin Luther King fought for black emancipation with the truth, and behold, there is solution. Even in Congo, the Catholic Church was part of the solution making in the crisis in Congo. But in Bali, the sister to Reverend Father was shot directly in the cathedral. It was hidden. CY members have been killed. It has been hidden. In Ekume, the mass of the pastor was shot and burned. It has been hidden by the Presbyterian Church. That is not the church of my grandfather. That's not the church we planted as a Presbyterian Church. So we expect the church now to come out and speak the truth, because Jesus Christ himself has been described as the truth. So what I'm saying is that the church, if the military can target the church because the church has been quiet, it means the military knew that the church have to speak the truth to end this crisis, so that they should not be dying. But the church is quiet. That is why the church is being targeted.
Now, I understand that this particular church in Bali has a membership of a Sunday membership of close to 500 people.
Yes, it has a membership of close to 500 people.
Now, was there any confrontation between the ARF, the Buffaloes, and the Cameroon soldiers that particular Sunday at any time?
Nowhere in any part of Bali was there confrontation. There was no confrontation in Bali.
Now, church members that I have spoken to have said that before they came in, right after the shooting, they heard an explosion, a heavy explosion somewhere around the vicinity of the church. And then after that, the bullets came into the church and killed Grace and heard the pastor. What do you know of the circumstance? What prevailed around there at that moment? What have you learned?
The church members cannot differentiate from the explosion of the restoration force and the shot of the grenade that makes the same sound. The shot of the restoration force will have an echo. Yes. But then the grenade is just something, a stagnant echo, a stagnant sound around a particular place. They cannot make the difference. The grenade started shooting from the east just after my 90 from Bamenda and was coming towards Bali. We were fully aware, but we knew it was a Sunday and people might not be comfortable if we confronted the untrained military. So anything they hear of the sound boom, they know that it's the restoration force. That is lies, that is fake.
Now, have you in the Buffaloes had any opportunity to speak with some of the church members?
We have spoken to them. We have discussed with many, those who are aware, those who can analyze the situation are positive that it was a planned attack on the church. But those who cannot decipher from the explosion of the restoration forces and the explosion of the grenades and those and other bombs of the military are still in doubt.
I have spoken with one of the congregants who was right there. In fact, he confessed to me he was seated on the fourth bench inside that church. The soldiers walked into the church, stormed into the building right after the shooting. When they heard people probably wailing and shouting, they bursted into the building, and the first thing the military said to them was not to tell anybody that the military carried out the shooting. Have you heard anything to this regard?
I have spoken to some CMM members who were presently in the church. They told me the military came in and told them that they want to carry the dirt to the mortuary and to carry the pastor to the hospital, and they refused. And they shut up their mouth that if they hear any story about what just happened, they will be targeted too. So, but the CMA members refused that. They cannot take their pastor after shooting him and killing Madame Grace. They cannot take them away again. Let their mercy lies in the hands of the CMA members. And you can see in the videos, the CMA members took responsibility of the pastor and already the deceased Madame Grace. So it's no story. It's no new story. The military have caused a lot of atrocities in Bali and have changed the story. But we don't care. The Bali denizens who are presently in the field knows the truth. And the truth will be recounted maybe in history, but for those who are not afraid to die, they will recount the truth. But let the church come out plain and tell the people what happened. It's not any sound of boom. The boom has been talking every day.
Now, are you hearing from the church members? Are they intimating their leaders to tell the story of exactly what they saw happen in that church on Sunday, or they are just murmuring and not trying to speak out?
I think there are certain things in war that ought not to be discussed, but your responsibility in a war is your responsibility. The church has to take its responsibility. Nobody has the right to go and tell them to speak the truth. Because first of all, the biblical implication of a man of God is to speak the truth. So if you're a man of God, you don't speak the truth. I want to repeat one thing I said, that more than 20 CY members have died from the Presbyterian Church, and the church is quiet.
Which are the Presbyterian church? Which are the Presbyterian churches? Is it the same one in Bali?
In Bali, the first be massacred, saw 8 of them. Another attack in a small quarter called Sang saw 4 of them. In other cross bullet actions, so many of them. Church elders have died. Even the CW member who died last week, the church have not spoken anything about it. What is then the responsibility of the church? To hide the truth or to speak the truth? Why are they quiet? So some military are conscious. They wanted to hit hard so that the church can now come into a solution, because they too are suffering. They wanted to hit the church heart so that they speak the truth. They are conscious of it.
Now, tell me about the morale of the buffalo, the Bali buffaloes. What is the morale within them now? How is Grandpa and everybody?
Normally, we have to be sad when we see a church leader being shot. A big sister in the church, Madam Grace, being killed directly in God's house. Seeing our own mentally disabled people being killed, and we love them despite their mental disability. Seeing CDI members being killed, we have to be sad. The resolution of the buffalo is that we shall revenge tenfold.
And how about, thank you, I can assure you that all of Ambazonia stands behind the buffaloes, and I am glad that I think the next draft that is coming up at the weekend is Mezam draft. If anybody would draft for Mezam for any reason, it should be for the buffaloes of Bali, because you guys have made us really proud. Now tell me about the ban on the vehicle movement in Bali. Is anybody defying the instructions, or it stands?
Nobody. They know that the Bali population and the buffaloes, they know that they cannot disrespect the ban. And people in Bali have already found another way of living. Anybody calling the interim government to say that Bali people are suffering is a public, it's an enabler. So the ban continues. The ban will not be stopped until bike riders are given the authority to circulate freely in Bali. Like we discussed the other time, we shall not listen to the colonial master fighting against colonialism. We have the territory of Ambazonia, and no one, neither Afrique, I'm reminding him that he is too little to fight the population in their land. Let him go back to Bangante and give instructions there. He will be respected. But here in Bali, we will listen to Grandpa until freedom is given to us. Oh, no, not given to us. Freedom we will seize. Yes, we will seize the freedom. And we are seizing it. Nobody speaks in Bali land and does anything in Bali land without being a Bali man or working for the colonial masters. So the ban remains stagnant, and the drivers are fully aware of it, that anybody who plows the Bali land with 4 and above wheels will be shut down. No regret. But then other means have been devised, and we are promoting the means of survival. It's just an adaptation, because the days ahead, even after the ban, might be worse than this. But it's better a Balima adapts first before the worse days comes.
Okay, my friend, it was great to hear from you. You guys keep up with the good work. You can trust that the entire weight of this interim government, from the president to everybody, talking about Dr. Samuel Ekomesako, everybody stands behind you, the Buffalo soldiers. You guys are doing an incredible job. You make Mezam proud. And thank God the draft is coming up for Mezam. We will draft for Bali Buffaloes, for the boys of Grandpa. Send my greetings to Grandpa, okay?
He's hearing you. Secretary Chris, my last word.
He's hearing me. Okay, good. Grandpa.
My last words are that you remind the church that they should stand for the truth, like Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, who stood for apartheid, like Martin Luther Luther King, who stood for the black emancipation, and the Catholic community in Congo, who stood for the solution to the Congolese crisis. Tell the church, let them not be hiding the truth, because Christ himself has been described in the same God they serve as the truth. Those are my last words.
All right. Thank you. You guys, please remain safe out there, okay?
Okay, Secretary.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, that was the spokesperson for the Bali Buffaloes with Grandpa as the general. We appreciate them for what they do out there, and we believe they will continue to do it. Let me bring back my panel in here. Prof. Ayim, let me get back to you. You listen to the spokesperson there for the Buffaloes in Bali, and the storyline is completely different from what the leadership of the Presbyterian Church wants us to believe.
Yes, Secretary Chris. To the Buffaloes of Bali, una cafe there. Grandpa, your cafe there. One people, one army, one power. Una cafe there. Listen, may we know the anticipate church for talk again. Church, it don't talk. The leadership of the church knows exactly what is happening, and because they have a pact, an agreement with La Republique de Cameroon, I'm saying this, the leadership of the church is aware. The poor congregants here and there do not know. The leadership of the church is aware. They communicate by the moderator. They have spoken. So let's not be in a dream world expecting them to speak again. They have spoken. And let's take them to task. There is a pact, there is an understanding between La Republique and the leadership of the church. La Republique wants the church now to weigh in, now that they cannot get the population to denounce us, denounce you, now that they cannot get enablers to succeed, now that they could not get the DDR staff to work, now that they have gotten enablers, they cannot succeed. What La Republique is doing now is getting the church, the desperate kicks of La Republique, trying to get the church leadership to weigh in now, see if they can convince the population through the church. So they have spoken. So let us take them to task. The next attack will be the schools. You hear the leadership of the churches of the church talking about back to school, right?
Right.
You saw in his communique, he talked about ghost towns. He's trying to condemn ghost towns, which he knows is the strength of Ground Zero to the struggle, and that is what is holding credibility internationally. The ghost towns, he has attacked it. So if there is an understanding, don't expect anything better from them anymore. Take them to task. The leadership is aware, the church is not aware, poor congregants are not aware, but the leadership of PCC is aware, and they are aware of this attack. They are aware of more to come, because they are weighing with the aggressor. They have. They're not neutral, they have. And so let's take it to them.
Prof. Ayim, and I will get this same question to Reverend Ivo out there. What do you make of the statement blaming both sides all the time, blaming both sides, the government and the separatists? The separatists did not call for war. The separatists are basically protecting themselves. Is it in the position of the church, the Presbyterian Church, to say both government and the separatists are to blame, as if the separatists have the power to end the war. Let me get to Reverend Commando. Or if Prof. Ayim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
All right, go on.
Listen, the moderator has spoken as if he's not even aware that there was something like the act, Team Amazonia, that we have stood for peace and we have opted to negotiate to end this thing peacefully, on a negotiating table with a third party. He has amnesia. We are the ones calling for peace. It is La Republique running away from peace. How could he now, in his communique, not mention that?
All right, let me get to Reverend Ivo, please.
Yeah, Secretary Chris, the first thing I want to say is that at this moment, as we are talking, when the incident in Bali happened on Sunday, Reverend Funky is actually in Houston right now.
I learned that.
He preached in Houston, one of the Houston branches yesterday, Sunday. So, and I'm sure that he has seen the images of what happened in a church that is supposed to be, he's supposed to be the leader, and is coming up with this rubbish that he has written here. I call it rubbish. Just to team up with what Dr. Ayim, Professor Ayim has said, there is a pact that has been signed, and the moderator is privileged of it, because the poor congregants, they don't have a saying, a decision in some of the things that Mr. Moderator does with Cameroon government. And I also said it very clear that 3/4 of the people who are working with the moderator and who call themselves Christians in the Presbyterian Church are in the so-called government. And they are the ones that's supposed to, of course, if they didn't know the stand of their moderator, that he's a liar like them, he's a cheat like them, he's not speaking the truth like them, they would have come out to say, hey, Mr. Moderator, our pastor, you are teaching us the word of God as example. But because he is not living as an example, the people who call themselves Christians in Presbyterian Church are in the fake government of La Republique, who are all demonized. They dance to the same tune. Because if they could sit down and tell him what is supposed to be done, he would have sat up. But because they are people of the same group, for him to get up and then equate or put the Amazonian restoration fighters on the same table with the terrorist Taliban army of La Republique, because La Republique is actually Taliban. Talibans, I don't know, there's no church in their villages, but now in Amazonia, we have churches, and that's our solace. But the Talibans of La Republique du Cameroon, who are haters of God, and on Sunday, you heard well, the spokesman saying that the buffaloes did not want to get these criminals out of our land on Sunday because of the population. Those are people who are conscientious of our people. And then a rogue regime that is sold out to Satan will come out with somebody who is standing at the forefront as a man of God to make such callous statements. I think this is very sad to hear of a church. But then I want to let the Amazonian people know that there is a difference between a religious group and a church. The Church of Jesus Christ speaks the truth. A religious group doesn't speak the truth. I have been saying that in my broadcast every Thursday on church and politics, to put people on the right footing so that they can know whom to blame. So when you see somebody who is reading the Bible and is not putting it into practice, that person is a religious person. Now, if you see the people who are doing their best to put the Bible into practice, they are the few church people. Like they have mentioned Desmond Tutu, they have mentioned the Reverend Jackson in the US, and so on and so forth. So the Presbyterian Church, we are blaming the Presbyterian Church, but it's actually the lawmakers and the decision makers that are there, because not every Presbyterian Church member is in support of these lies. I know of a good number of them who are standing for the truth. And want the moderator
Pastor Commando, if I were in any church and my pastor was asking the way these Presbyterian leaders are asking, I will call them up about it, because it is not about them, but all what they do is, we realize it's all about them, because it's about power, it's about money, it's about influence, as I mentioned it, and it is about them, not about the congregants. Why can't the congregants call them up about this? I mean, we're no longer in the dark ages where the pastor was infallible.
Yeah, Secretary Chris, I want to let you know that there are a few gullibles that are in these places called churches, that when the so-called pastor gives them incentives and promises them a heaven that they cannot even give them hell, then they buy into their narratives. And I want to let you know also that these people who have diverted from the truth of the word of God is because of those things that you have mentioned. Money has become the god of this world, and the Bible they are reading says that the love of money is the root of all evil. And Jesus, through his servant in the Proverbs, said that only by pride can a man fall. So pride goes before a fall. And so people want to have big names and to relate to other members and people of the society, because when you are a pastor, as you rightly said, I grew up where I saw a pastor. He was not very popular. He didn't have what the pastors are supposed to have today. But I see pastors with jets. I'm not against that. But you buy a jet, and the members of your church are coming with the 10 francs that they have sold their egg to come and give you. And you have how many cars are parked at your door, and you use only one at a time. Is that not selfishness? They have gone away from what God actually wants them to be. So I want to read this scripture before you take over, Chris. In Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2, the Bible says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. This is not only in the political arena, it's also in the church. When a wicked man sits on top of the pulpit and manipulates and lie to the people mourn. And that's why members of the Presbyterian Church are mourning, because a number of wicked people are sitting there and not carrying out the word of God, but they have been cloaked and put some cassocks that are looking like people of God, but their actions are proving to us who they are.
Prof. Ayem, you weigh in here with this attitude of the church always siding with the oppressor. It has become so clear that throughout this conflict, the church, and when I say the church here, I'm referring to the mainstream, the Presbyterian, the Catholics, to an extent the Baptists, always siding with the oppressor against the same people sitting on the pews in their churches. Because I have no doubt that the overwhelming majority of those congregants, they want their own freedom. But their leaders, we prefer they remain under the slave master. Why?
Right. Secretary Chris, we have to be very careful as we tread on this. Listen, when the interim government calls for ghost towns, people observe and they respect ghost towns. Some of those people are church people. It's not only non-church people. So the blame and the finger we should point is to the leadership of the church.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't have a problem with the congregants. It's the leadership.
Yes, the leadership. The leadership, they are aware, as I'm telling you in this case, that Reverend Funky is aware of this scheme. It's aware of this plan. Hey, Baptist, your turn is coming. The Baptist leadership, you are aware of this. The Catholic leadership, they are aware of this. But the congregants are not. So our message should go to these leaders that they should stop now acting to facilitate the oppressor, the actions of the oppressor. And we are calling on the congregants to rise up and talk and help us propagate this direct to their leaders that they have to defend the rights of the people. We are Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians. We have nothing to do with La Republique du Cameroon. We are fighting for independence, outright independence, and if anybody is expecting anything less, you are not in this struggle. We are not, there's no ifs and buts about this. The people want the independence, and we are calling on the people to help us talk to their leadership who are aware of the scheme of the Republic, of the secret pacts that they have signed. You have heard some already calling about back to school. Even this Funky himself has mentioned about schools resuming. They are aware of this plan. It's something they have already signed. I'm not waiting for them to talk again. They have spoken. So let the people rise up, the congregants rise up. Let's stop this shenanigan, because it has happened now in the church. It's going to happen in the schools. And they'll try to blame people who are fighting for the rights. So on behalf of the interim government, I'm calling on that population, the congregants, please, let's not get any more careless. Let's rise up and talk to our leadership. I'm a bona fide Presbyterian. I have been born a Presbyterian, grew up as a Presbyterian, and I condemn the actions of the leadership of the church.
What would you advise the congregants in this Ballet Church to be doing and be saying right now? Prof. Ayim, and I will ask the same question to Reverend Commando.
Obey strictly the orders of the buffaloes. Work in close collaboration with the restoration forces. Listen, they say no going out. No, don't go out. Obey the ghost towns. Listen to the restoration forces. They are civilized. They are there for your interest. You, the congregants, please respect the orders from the Amazonian restoration forces. As I said earlier, we are one people, there's one army, and one power. That is how you help.
Reverend Commando.
Yes, I think I will reiterate and say the same thing, and then tell the congregational members to bring their pastors to book, to tell the truth. Now, an average Ambazonia knows the oppression wherewith we have been oppressed by La Republique. And it's not beginning today. It's been over 60 years. They are still treating us as, people who were conquered in a war. But we have come to a point where the Bible tells us that knowledge shall increase. And knowledge has increased today. We are not going to stay any longer in the ignorance that they meted out on us. They know that our education has been defaced. They are uneducating our children. And we said, no, let them wait. We want to get back our full land before we go to school. But these so-called leaders of churches that have signed a pact, a wicked pact with La Republique, because to them, they are on the advantage side now. Now, their children sometimes they are not back at home. They want to kill every initiation of the Ambazonian young man growing up. So they now want to destroy them. And of course, they are giving a leeway by saying they should go back to those places they call schools and then inform the La Republique terrorists to come and kill them, and they try to put it on Ambazonia, like they did in Kumba and other places. And these church people are privileged to that. We are telling the congregational members, please rise up. There is no secret. Again, the pastor is not a secret cow. The secret cow again of the sacred cow again of God. You can read the Bible and stand up to challenge him who has the theory with no practice. We are talking about action here. Let him tell us the truth. Pastors are supposed to speak the truth. And if a man says a pastor is not speaking the truth in the face of truth, that even the unborn know where we are coming from and what we are standing for, and then so-called pastors are not telling them the truth, and they will come in to make an allusion and say, okay, both parties. That is unheard of. That is the hypocrisy of the highest order that cannot be heard and should not be heard from a man that is called a man of God. So I think that the members should obey their pastors and obey the restoration forces on the ground. Obey the restoration forces on the ground as they bear leadership of our land.
All right. I want to hope that these leaders and the congregants, they listen to public opinion and they take it really seriously. Gentlemen, I will open the phone lines and let's hear from ground zero. Let's hear from ground zero what is in their minds as far as these events are concerned. Let's hear what is in the mind of ground zero. So the phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that before you call, turn down the volume of your TV set. Turn down the volume of your TV set before you call. Again, the phone number is right there on your screen. Before you call, turn down the volume of your set. If you are in Bali, I'd love to hear from you, especially if you are a member of that church. Love to hear from you. I got a first caller here. Let's see. Hello, sir. Hello. Oh, it drops the call. Okay. Again, the phone lines are open, and I really want to hope that the Reverend Samuel Funky, who is right here in Houston at this moment, I really hope he listens to the voices of wisdom and know that without the people, without the congregation, he is no pastor. So let's really hope he hears this. Let's get to the first caller here from ground zero. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for calling. May I know where you are calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Bamenda, from the northern zone.
Okay. And what is your contribution?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I just want to appreciate what people are doing at the studio. And thank God that you can throw more light to what happened in Bali on Sunday concerning... Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, concerning the leadership of the PCC, I'm a die-hard supporter of this struggle, as well as a member of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. So when we are talking about the leadership of the church, it should be at the level of the synod, because the poor pastor who is in the congregation, particularly like the Reverend Moto who was shot, you can't lay blame on him. He is a servant who was serving. And then again, I want us to differentiate who the moderator is and his motive, and then what the church stands for. Because if we generalize it, like the Reverend who said he is a member of the Sacred Court, that one is personal. I don't think I know of anything, and it's only between him and God. Secondly, I want to talk on the issue of the resumption of school. If you happen to be on the ground, I live here, I'm coming from Gi, and each time I go to my village, I always broke into tears. I cry because children who have not been to school, who have not seen the four walls of the classroom, are into drugs. They smoke cigarettes. They don't know anything. In my opinion,
do you need education or need to be in the four walls of a classroom to know that smoking drugs is a bad thing?
We need education to enlighten the children. Schools can go
I'm
on
asking you the question. Do you need them to be in the four walls of a classroom for them to be educated that taking drugs or narcotics is absolutely not good for them?
I want them to be educated. But if we completely...
All right, listen, thank you for the call. Others are trying to call. I get your message. We are not directing our message to the congregants. We are directing the messages to the leaders, including the pastors. The pastors, if they choose to remain dumb and not speak out when things like this happen, hold them accountable. Thank you. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello. 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 Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
May I know where you are calling from, please? Hello. You have a bad connection, sir. You have a bad connection. Let's move on to the next caller. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Norway.
From Norway. Okay, what is the contribution?
Yeah, the last caller that was talking about school. I just want to ask a question for that last caller. How many degree holder, advanced level students are out there? There is no job. They are pushing truck, driving Okada. What they are talking about school, if you go to school, then you come out without anything. Who are you? The technical school they have destroyed it. They have destroyed everything that belongs to us. What are they talking about schools? What are they talking about schools? Those children should stay in the house until we fix our country or take back our country. What that man is talking about schools, they should not bring politics. Those type of people, you don't need to listen to them. That is all my contributions, Pastor Secretary Chris.
All right, thank you, sir. God bless. Okay, let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
I'm sure, we are now on question and answer, and I'm sure that you have been blessed by this hour.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That caller. Let's get to the next caller.
God bless.
Hello.
Evening.
Hello. Well, Ground Zero is having lots of connection difficulties. Let's see who has a better connection here. Another Ground Zero. Hello. Hello.
A better connection.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Victoria.
And what is your contribution?
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Go on. What is your contribution?
Yeah, I want to first of all thank all of you for the wonderful job you are doing. The cabinet of the president, yourself, and everybody like the activists, Kenya, Shu, Linda, Shu, Stainless Steel, and everybody for the effort you are making. And just like I've always been contributing and telling you people that Ground Zero is counting on you people, because when we see what you people are doing, the mobilization you people are doing, we keep on praying and holding our hearts very close. We should forget about Samuel Funky, because that man, I must confess, he is far from being religious. He has changed the mentality of the few Anglophones, the real son and daughters of that land, from the coastal zone to the grassland and to the midland. So I want to really congratulate you people for all what you are doing, and I want to make you to understand that people are very conscious and they are counting on you people, because I want to tell you, I have moved in the 10 regions of this country and I know what this country is all about. Do you know that the number of English schools that are only in the North region or in the Far North region, the Adamawa region, they can surpass all, even just in one division, they can surpass all the other regions in both Northwest and Southwest. Then you ask yourself, what is the game behind? Why creating all these schools for Francophones to become Anglophones? That's why Teruma made a statement that Anglophones are those who speak English. People do not understand that statement. And when they launched the recruitment of 1,000 bilingual teachers, they said they were recruiting those who are speaking English. They were not recruiting those who are from the origin of that southern Cameroon. So, to be candid, our ancestors are grateful. And if we are grateful because of you people, because you have enlightened, people have opened our eyes, because we were going to be more enslaved more than today. I bet you, if this struggle failed, the last time I told you people that if this struggle failed, there will be more dead casualties recorded than even the casualties that we have today. And if this struggle failed, I bet you, people should mark my word, Anglophones will be more enslaved, even more than the enslavement in the 18th century.
All right. Okay.
So I want to really encourage all the activists that are doing a wonderful job. We are watching you people, following people on social media, following people everywhere, even on television sets. As I'm speaking to you, my television set is on, and we believe that Grand Zero is able and will stand by you forever.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys remain safe. Okay, the phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I can't get to every caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Can you turn down the volume of your set, sir? Can you turn down the volume of your TV?
Turn down the volume.
Before you call, please make sure the volume of your phone is turned down. We are not accepting video calls here, sir, so you call on audio. Okay. Hello. 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 Okay, that's a bad connection. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. May I know where you're calling from, please?
Yeah. Good evening. I'm calling from my car.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Hello.
Speak a little louder. We lost that caller. Let's get to the next. Can you turn down the volume of your set, please?
Hello.
Can you turn down the volume of your set, your TV?
Yes. Are you getting me?
I can get you. I need the volume of your TV to be turned down first.
All right.
All right. Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from, man?
Yes.
Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Grand Zero.
What county?
In
Which county?
Kutunja country.
Okay, all right. What is your contribution?
Yes, I want to go straight to the point of school. Because the other day alone, one of the contributors talked about a school, and they asked if we are sending our children to school, where are we to get teachers? Where are we to get money to pay them? And who? And if we send them now, will it not be the Republique who will be responsible to pay our children? And they will be their teachers, and our fees that will be paid will go back to the Republique.
You are correct, sir.
I see that it is not right. So to me, I see that we should keep the children back at home until when our freedom is given to us, then we can now send our children to school.
Absolutely, absolutely. They say only a dog returns to its own vomit. So we're not going to call schools resumption and have La Republique send back their francophone teachers into those classrooms.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for the call.
All right.
Thank you for the call.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, the calls are coming in and in and in and in. I can't get to every caller. I can get to every caller. Let's see who is trying to call next. This person has called. Hello.
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 Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. You calling from where? Well, that's a bad connection. I guess. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ambazonia, Bui County.
All right. And what is the contribution you're having?
What I want to say is that maybe the moderator himself does not know that he is on a trap. Because what I notice is that La Republique, they do things in a tricky way. What they want is that Reverend, that man of God, that man that call himself the man of God, that betrayer, that moderator, that he has just passed out his mouth like that. He does not know that he is on the trap of La Republique. Very soon, what I know is that La Republique will kill that man, and when they will kill him,
why would they kill him if he is on their side? Why?
Yes.
Why would they kill him when he's on their side?
Look, what they will do is, as now people they know that people are talking. We Amazonians are talking against what he has just said, and now what they will do is that they will kill him and then point fingers that since they were talking against him, it is the Amazonians that have killed him. That is just the trick in it.
All right.
You understand me, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, that is what they are doing.
Okay.
They will say since he talked bad on the Amazonian, and then the Amazonian have gotten angry and then they have killed him, they will go ahead to kill him so that they will put the blame on the Amazonians, because they know that the Amazonians are not happy with what he said.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't take any more calls. I will return to my panel for the next 4 minutes and we will call it a show. Reverend Commando, your last words to those congregants in that Presbyterian church out there in Bali, please.
I will draw inspiration from my outings to let the Ambazonian reverend gentlemen know that from time immemorial, even those who are not reverends in Ambazonia have been truthful. And when they cross over to La Republique that is built of lies, we see how that there are priests and there are so many other men of God are corrupted. And when Reverend Kia was in Manfe as an Ambazonian, he spoke the truth when things happened. Until when he was rubbed off with La Republique, his language started changing. And I want to draw your attention that before we were taken in a coup in 1961, by then I was already alive, I was born by that time. We have corrupted people like Bishop Domu and the other bishop who Umyobe into killing and Wanji into killing. They were all reverends. And that scenario is coming up to Ambazonia. I want to encourage the congregational members to make sure that they know that they are the ones that own the pastor. The pastor doesn't own them. They should go back to their Bible, read the Bible, and then come together with the truth and shout it out to their pastors, especially their moderators, so that they can come back to their right senses of doing what God wants them to do, telling the truth, which many people know that the truth is bitter but must be spoken. Thank you.
Thank you. Prof. Ayim, please.
Yes, my dear people of Bali, dear congregants of Bali, dear people of Ambazonia, this same conclusion goes to everyone. I'm speaking because I have some knowledge as an insider in the interim government and have some knowledge about some diplomatic progress. Listen, every action you are doing on the ground, obeying the restoration forces and going out for ghost towns, etc., everything is working in our favor. Not sending children to school, everything you are doing is working in our favor, and the international community is watching. This is the desperation of La Republique. They don't like that. So they're trying to do everything possible to make sure that there is some positive reaction from the ground to tell the international community, listen, the people are doing this, the people are doing this. So stay firm, obey the ghost towns, work hand in hand with the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, stand up and speak to your church leadership, whether you are Baptist, Catholic, or Presbyterian. Speak up to the leadership. They are the ones that have signed this pact. We are getting closer to the end. Our people, I am telling you, don't give up now. Don't get in despair now, because we are moving towards the target. And the actions of the restoration forces, please support them, listen to them, and let's hasten this journey to Boya. Please, you are the reason for why this struggle is moving forward, all of you on ground zero, and the honorable and serious Ambazonia Restoration Forces. Please, my word to you, La Republique is desperate. So let's stay firm with what we have been doing, because we are getting closer to the end. They will come to the negotiating table or pay a price. So please, stay firm. Respect this interim government. There's only one interim government. We stand for the independence of this of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia. We will not betray you for anything, and we will not engage in any discussion at the background without a third party. This interim government is incorruptible. The President Samuel Ekome Sako, is an honorable man. He's focused. Let's give him the trust. He is standing firm. I'm speaking as an insider to my people, to all the congregants. Please stay committed. Speak up and speak out. We are getting there. God bless.
Thank you, Prof. Ayim. Thank you, Reverend Commando. It was a pleasure to have you. I look forward to having you back here, sirs. All right,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, that is all that we have for you today. But before I go, I just want to remind you, we are standing behind the buffaloes of Bali as we drive for Mezam over the weekend. That is all that we can do to prove to them that we're not just here making empty noise in the diaspora. We need to let them know as they pass the night in the bushes that we support them financially to put better ammunition into their hands. So please remember the weekend coming up with the draft for Mezam. Thank you very much for tuning in. God bless you all, and good night.
Gama kong karela chom makomba da makare chom banga to timtime be wo la o wazo bama adibemo